It's Friday, September 14th, 2012, and let's talk about what happened this week over at XDADevelopers.com. First off, a few items, a lot of items of update news. This week, after about 5 months of waiting, Samsung has officially released the ice cream sandwich update for the Samsung Captivate Glide. You have to use their Keys application. I honestly don't know how to pronounce that, Keys or Keys. I kind of want to say Keys just because that's my name. And you do have to be on a stock unrooted version of firmware to update using that. There's a very good chance you're probably not running stock unrooted if you're watching this video, but I'm just going to throw that out there. Also this week, the first AOSP-based build of Ice Cream Sandwich for the HTC Thunderbolt became available. That's thanks to XDA senior member SP Jester and some others that are yet to be named, at least not in the post. They say there are some things that are still broken in it, such as the video camera, Netflix doesn't work, and Wi-Fi tether is dead, but they say that you can use the internal one that's in the settings. Now, an item that's pretty big and pretty cool to me, this week the Sprint Nexus devices started receiving the OTA Jelly Bean update. That sounds awesome, and at the exact same time it sounds crappy because I'm on Verizon, and yes, some people started getting test updates, but it's Verizon, means we may still have another 6 months to wait before it actually happens. Hopefully it will only be a few more weeks before it's official. Personally, I've been running AOSP-based Jelly Bean since it became available. I actually need to update to CyanogenMod 10, but that's neither here nor there. And now a little bit of leak-type news. And this week, 2 devices received leaked versions of Jelly Bean, and those were both Samsung devices, specifically the Samsung Galaxy Note 10.1 and the Samsung Galaxy Tab 2. Now there are some specifics, some qualifications to that. For example, the Galaxy Note 10.1, you have to be on the N8000 version. It does not work for every single one out there. And for the Galaxy Tab 2, you have to be running a very specific version of firmware or you can't update it. So if you have either one of these devices and you want to take a look at the updates, the Jelly Bean leaks for them, go ahead and look at the posts over on the site and the associated threads on the forum. And in the last bit of Jelly Bean news, we've talked a lot about the Galaxy S3 getting Jelly Bean, potential for getting it, things like that. Well, CNET UK has officially started reporting that Samsung is saying that they're going to be releasing Jelly Bean to the international version of the Galaxy S3 in October. And the official quote went something to the effect of, the Android 4.1 Jelly Bean operating system will be available on the Galaxy S3 in October. That's about as clear as mud, but it is one thing to assume that it's going to be the international version, especially if they were saying that to CNET UK. And I like the way that that post ends. No specific date is given, but you've got a 1 in 31 chance of guessing which date it's actually going to be. Now in other OS news, but going back to the Galaxy Nexus for just a minute, I think last time we talked about one specific device, the Motorola Defy, getting a port of boot to Gecko. Well, a couple of you mentioned in the comments section below the video, and there's now a post over on the portal, about how there are now 2 ports of boot to Gecko for the Verizon and GSM Galaxy Nexus devices. There's not really a working, not working list for the GSM version, but the Verizon version has a list and it's not a good one. Specifically, the cell service, 1x, 3G, 4G, whatever, does not work. Screenshots don't work, the camera sometimes works, but not always. The soft keys don't work, and everything is designed for HDPI, which the Galaxy Nexus is not, so it's not really gonna look right. Everything's gonna look small. But one way or another, very cool to see more devices getting included in the boot to Gecko train. It would be really awesome, in my opinion, if there was a way, and there probably will be eventually, to dual boot between Jelly Bean and boot to Gecko just to get the best of both worlds. And now in some other news that's not even update related at all. There have been a lot of posts over the last few weeks or few months talking about ways to get Google Now running on your devices, especially if you're not running Jelly Bean yet, like the Galaxy S3 is not. However, the Galaxy S3 specifically has S-Voice on it, and all of the newer Samsung devices are going to have that on there. But most people don't really care for S-Voice, they'd really prefer to have Google Now. Well, thanks to a thread created by XDA senior member GH Student, there's now a tutorial for how you can just completely replace S-Voice on your Galaxy S3. Of course, it does require you to be rooted, but it's 3 pretty simple commands once you've got that in place. So if you do not care for S-Voice and you want to go ahead and move to Google Now, you've got that option. That's pretty much it in terms of the news this week. If you have not already, there were 3 other videos posted between Monday and now. On Tuesday, Azrienoch posted a video talking about Amazon's Kindle Fire strategy, all of the devices they're slamming onto the market and what it means, how they're going to cope with the fact that every device they're putting out there is a loss leader kind of device. Very interesting, and again, Awesome to see Azrienoch back here on XDA. On Wednesday, Adam updated us again with his How to Build an Android App Part 5, talking about the Arduino ADK. And on Thursday, TK put out his review of TeamViewer for Android, with the demonstration included. Now, the last couple of things I'm going to talk about, just a couple of actual XDA updates. If you haven't seen it already, we have a contest going on that ends this Sunday. So if you're interested in it, the contest rules are on the website. I'll have a link to that down in the video description. But specifically, like I said, you can win a Galaxy S3 if you enter the Bash Obfuscation Contest, obfuscating the word obfuscation with Adam. And essentially what you do there is you try to create the most screwed up bash script that you can. You submit it on this one certain forum thread, and then I think Adam and I are actually going to judge the contest. So I've seen a couple of amazing entries, but I'm sure that there are a lot more of you out there that could do other things, different things. Let us know if you can and if you want to. And finally, on Thursday, there was a post on the site talking all about XDA and how we are going to have a big presence at the Big Android Barbecue. Lots of specifics were given in terms of who's going to be there, what's going to happen, the swag that we're going to be giving away, all of that fun stuff. So if you're going to be in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, it's not exactly there, but it's like 5-10 miles outside of there. Between the dates of October 19th and 21st, and you're interested in going there, meeting up with some of us, go ahead and look at the post over on the portal for all of the specifics. But that's going to be all I have for you today. As always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit the like button down below if you like this video, and subscribe to receive our content as soon as it becomes available. And I will see you on Monday.